Call me crazy, but I personally think some fragrances are safe to blind buy. If you're interested in hearing about some of those, then just keep watching. Before we get into this video, I do want to quickly introduce myself for those of you who may be new here. My name is Aisha from simplyaisha.com. Here on YouTube, I make videos about fragrance, beauty, luxury, and lifestyle. If those are things you're interested in, please consider subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So if you're new to this fragrance community online, you may not know what blind buying is. Blind buying a fragrance is simply buying a fragrance that you have not smelled. So that means you haven't smelled in a store, you haven't smelled a sample of it, you haven't worn on your body. That is a blind buy fragrance. Now, typically people blind buy because they can find great deals online. That is the reason that I blind buy the most, and also because I don't have all of these brands accessible to me in my area. Now, some of the brands that I blind buy, I could go drive to smell them like 45 minutes, but I like the rush of a blind buy. I'm not gonna lie. I am a blind buyer. I enjoy opening a package and trying a fragrance out that I have not smelled. And there are some benefits to blind buying. Obviously, we know the cons of blind buying is that you may buy a fragrance that you don't like at all and you kind of wasted your money. But the benefits for me of blind buying is, number one, I love the rush of it. Number two, it forces me to actually try a fragrance. I find that oftentimes if I try a fragrance in the store, I just go off that first sniff and I'm probably not even trying it on my hand. And I go from there on whether or not I like it. So oftentimes if something smells boring to me at first sniff, I won't continue to try it. Whereas if I got a bottle of it, I will try it because I want to make sure that this is not something that's going to work for me before I sell it off. So to sum that up, number two is it forces you to actually spend a little bit of time with a fragrance to see if you really like it or if you really don't. Number three is that I can usually find great deals online that make it worth the risk of a blind buy for me. Enough about that. The fragrances that I'm going to share with you all today are fragrances that I think are pretty safe blind buys. Now, of course, every fragrance here is not going to work for every single person watching, but I'll kind of explain who these fragrances would be safe blind buys for. And I also made sure to pick fragrances from brands that I feel like in general are not safe to blind buy from. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's go ahead and get into these fragrances. So the first fragrance is from a house that I typically never recommend you blind buy from. However, I do feel like this is probably the safest option from them. So the house I'm talking about is Amouage, and this is Material. So Amouage Material is a spicy vanilla scent, to put it simply. It has some darker spices in it. The vanilla is sweet, but it is not cake-like. And then this also has some incensey notes in it. So of course, when you hear incense, spicy, dark vanilla, Amouage, you're probably thinking, I don't think that's a safe blind buy. But honestly, I feel like if you like a vanilla scent, a spicy vanilla scent, I'm not talking about cupcakey, but if you know you like spicy vanillas, this is one that I feel like you can't go wrong with. It is beautiful. It is unique. It is a step foot into that Amouage world without being like too far gone. This is one of those fragrances that I think any vanilla lover would love, honestly. I haven't met anybody who smelled this fragrance that likes vanilla that does not like this fragrance. Now, will it be a love for you? Who knows? We all love things for different reasons. For me, it's an absolute love, but I think that if you want to step your toe into Amouage and you like vanillas, this is one that you have to try. Now, mind you, I blind buy bottles a lot. Of course, you do not have to do that. You can buy samples or decants. I would suggest that if you're really looking to try out a fragrance, at least try out a decant. You can shop from places like Scent Split. You can buy samples from Twisted Lily. I have links to both of those that I will leave down below. But buying a decant will just give you a better chance of trying out a fragrance as opposed to just like a small sample that really doesn't spray well, or that you may have to dab, because we get different experiences when we can't spray the fragrance like how it's supposed to be sprayed. Anyway, Material, absolutely gorgeous, perfect for cold weather. I wouldn't wear this right now unless it was at night, and I actually might wear this tonight because now that I'm smelling this, y'all, I really want to wear this. but it is absolutely stunning. So if you have not tried this one, get your nose on it. Almawaj material. Also, before we go into the next fragrance, I do want to mention that although I think these are safe blind buys, I don't feel that any of these fragrances are boring, which to me is important because I don't want to blind buy like a boring fragrance. That kind of defeats the purpose to me. So I should have said that at the beginning, but I'm saying it now. So the next fragrance I have is from the House of Initio, and this is Rehab. Now, I don't hear a lot of people talk about this anymore, but I will say probably about 3 or 4 years ago, this was really popular and it is absolutely stunning. I don't know why more people don't talk about it. Maybe because it's not a new fragrance, but it's gorgeous. So to me, when I smell this, I get a lot of different spices, which I know may sound a little scary for some of y'all. But the way the spices are done in here, they are very round, very smooth, very well blended. When you smell it, you can definitely smell that this is a spicy fragrance, but there's enough sweetness to this. I feel like there's some muskiness to this. And overall, when I smell this fragrance, I just get a sense of calm, a sense of focus. It's just absolutely gorgeous, y'all. I love this fragrance. I feel like this is definitely the most easy fragrance to purchase from Initio if you're gonna purchase something blindly, because I just don't see how anybody could find this offensive. Now, some of y'all who may like really super feminine scents, you may not find that this is for you. However, if you like unisex scents, and I'm not talking about unisex lean and masculine, I'm talking about straight out unisex. If you're okay with unisex scents, I don't see how you wouldn't like this. I really don't. It may not be your favorite fragrance of all time, but I'm telling you, smell this on your skin. I don't see how you can't like it. It has just enough of each element to it that really makes this a well put together scent. This is perfect to me for pretty much any occasion. So if I was going out of town and I really only wanted to take one fragrance, this would be the type of fragrance I could take, because I could wear this during the day, I could wear it at night, it could go to formal events, it could go to parties. It's just no occasion that I don't think this would work for. And I think it's great for year round. It's heavy enough for fall, winter, but it's not too heavy for summer. I love this. So again, that is Initio Rehab. The next house that I want to feature is Tom Ford. And I have to say, y'all know Tom Ford is probably my favorite fragrance house. But as I was looking at my collection, I realized there are not many that I would consider blind buy safe. The only one that I came up with is this one. And this is Soleil Blanc. So this was probably my first Tom Ford, not my first Tom Ford fragrance, but it's definitely my first one out of the private line. Don't talk about it that much anymore, but I still love this fragrance. So this fragrance is a sweet tropical scent. What I get when I smell this smells like coconut, smells like tropical florals. There's a little bit of nuttiness in here from the pistachio note, but I wouldn't say that pistachio is dominant in this. It just provides like a little bit of nuttiness, a little bit of texture to this. So I know not everybody is a fan of coconut, but I will say, if you like coconut at all, if you like a tropical floral at all, then this is one that you should smell if you have not as of yet. I feel like almost everybody has smelled this, but I feel like as long as you like coconut in some way and you like florals in some way, then you will like this. This kind of veers on that sunscreen type of scent, but it doesn't go that far. This is a much more luxurious take on a sunscreen type scent, in my opinion. So I know a lot of people don't love coconut sunscreen type smells. Even if that's you, this is one you should get your nose on if you like coconut, because to me, it's just enough. Like, this blends so well. You get those tropical vibes, but you still smell very elevated. This does not smell childish in any way. It smells like a luxury resort. I love it. It's quite calming in my opinion too. So if you haven't tried this fragrance yet and you like coconut, definitely get your nose on Soleil Blanc. So this next fragrance is from House of Sillage, and House of Sillage is one of those brands that, although I feel like their fragrances are really likable, they're not ones that are typically at the top of my list to tell people to blind buy, because they are quite expensive and they are hard to come across in stores. And then it seems like for some reason their scents are quite polarizing, even though I'm really not sure why. But anyway, the fragrance that I'm mentioning today from them is none other than Minnie Mouse. So this fragrance I think was released last year. I believe this one was sent to me. Yes, this one was sent to me, but this fragrance is gorgeous. So I know you see this in this Minnie Mouse bottle, but I don't think this scent is juvenile, although it is a sweet scent. So when I smell this, I get a sweet, raspberry marshmallow kind of caramel type scent. It smells very fluffy, very whipped, very gourmand without smelling too foody. It's all very well-rounded. So I think this would be a safe blind buy for people who like gourmand scents. And I really wanted to feature this because this was sold out for a while. It's now back in stock, and it's one of those ones that doesn't really go on sale because I think so many people love it. And I also don't really see this one in store anywhere. So I wanted to mention this because if you are on the fence about this, I think this is a pretty safe blind buy as long as you like gourmand fragrances. You have to like gourmands or sweet fragrances to enjoy this, but I think if you do, I can't picture you not liking this. Now, you may have your own feelings about the bottles or about House of Sillage in general, but scent alone, I don't think you can go wrong with this if you like a gourmand scent. I haven't met anybody who doesn't like this, honestly. Even if raspberry is not really the type of scent that you go for, the one that's in here, it just smells so realistic. It smells not synthetic at all, but it's not overpowering. It's very airy, but it's not a weak fragrance. So again, that is Minnie Mouse from House of Sillage. So this next fragrance is from Nishane, and this is 100 Silent Ways. So this fragrance is quite popular here on YouTube and on Instagram because it is easy for most people. Most people will like this scent. This fragrance to me is a sweet floral. When I smell this fragrance, I feel like it opens up with some fruity notes. It kind of smells like peach, but it's not extremely peachy. I also get some florals in this fragrance, and to me, I think they're white florals, but they're not sharp, they're not headache inducing. And then there's this sweet vanilla, but again, it's not extremely sweet. It's not a cupcakey vanilla. Everything in this fragrance I feel like is moderate, but there's still something quite special about it. When I smell this fragrance, it honestly doesn't smell extremely special, but when I wear this on my skin, it does something to me. It does something to everybody around me too. And it's not a super heavy fragrance, but it projects, it leaves a trail because every time I wear this fragrance, I get compliments. This is a compliment getter. This is a mass appealing fragrance, but it's still not boring in my opinion. It's still a niche fragrance. And I think it's a safe blind buy if you like feminine scents. I mean, I'm trying to think of who wouldn't like this fragrance. I guess if you only like super heavy fragrances or masculine fragrances, you may not like this, but honestly, I know some men wear this. I've never smelled on a man, so I can't participate in that conversation, but I know some men wear this and they like it for themselves, but I find this to be like a very pretty girl type scent. So I think if you're into that, I think you'll like this. I think this is a really safe step into the niche world. So again, that is 100 Silent Ways from Nishane. The next fragrance I have is from Kayali, and this is Musk 12. Now, I know some of you all may be thinking that Kayali is a house that you can easily blind buy from, and I kind of agree. I think their fragrances kind of toe the line between smelling more niche and smelling more mainstream. However, the reason that I decided to include a fragrance from them is because there are so many varying reviews from Kayali. Some people hate them and some people love them. So I figured because they're so controversial, I would include one of their fragrances. And I think Musk 12 is the fragrance from Kayali that you cannot go wrong with. This fragrance is beautiful. So obviously musk is in the name. It's a musky fragrance. That's what you get, but it's not an animalic musk. It's more of a clean musk, but it does not smell like laundry detergent either. So it's right in that middle point of being clean, but not smelling fake, not smelling false. It smells so good. So the musk in this is a little bit sweet. It kind of smells like there's some fruity nuances to it, and it kind of smells like there's a little bit of vanilla in this as well. But I find this one super easy to wear. It's great for fresh out of the shower. It layers well with other fragrances, but it also can be worn alone. And this is one of those fragrances that I go for when I don't know what I want to wear because it's just non-offensive to everybody, including myself. It never puts me in a bad mood. It never bothers my allergies. I can wear this when I'm sick, and there's something quite cozy and comforting about this, but it's not a heavy fragrance. You can definitely wear this one year round. Even on the hottest day of summer, I don't feel like this would be bothersome to you. So if you are interested in trying something from Kayali, Musk 12 is the one that I would recommend you go for. Speaking of musk, I have a fragrance from the brand Essential Parfums, and this one is called the musk. So this fragrance, I kind of sit in the same category as Kayali Musk 12. They are quite similar, not exactly the same, but they're kind of vibe the same. So this one again is a musk and is not really animalic, but it's also not laundry detergent. I will say that this one smells a bit brighter to me, a little bit less sweet, but overall just good, y'all. It smells like a nice clean musk with a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of maybe some florals in the background of this, but overall it's just a clean musky scent. Essential Parfums is one of those brands that I don't think you can really find in store. So I wanted to mention this one because I feel like if you like musk, you will like this fragrance. These are not that expensive. So honestly, it's kind of a great brand to blind buy from because I feel like these full-size bottles are definitely less than $100. So you kind of can't go wrong in my opinion, but they are definitely niche fragrances. So again, that is the Musk by Essential Parfums. The last two fragrances I have are both from the same house, and that is from the house of Xerjoff. If you've been watching my channel for any period of time, you probably know I love Xerjoff. I love the uniqueness of their fragrances. It's not really a house that I tell people to blind buy from, even though I've blind bought pretty much all of them. But it's not a house that I typically recommend people blind buy from. But these two fragrances I feel are pretty safe. So this first one is Dama Bianca, and this is a vanilla floral. So to me, when I smell this, I get this beautiful sweet vanilla, but it's not extremely sweet. It's definitely a more tame, not cupcakey type vanilla. It also has a little bit of spiciness to the vanilla, but I wouldn't necessarily call it spicy, but there's like a little bit of dry spiciness to this fragrance. It also has some citrusy notes, so it has kumquat and lime in this fragrance that really give it a unique appeal, give it a bit of brightness. And then the florals that are in here, I'm not quite sure they are, but it kind of smells like there may be some sort of powdery floral in here, like either iris or violet, and probably something like jasmine, probably a white floral in here as well. But everything just blends so well together. Now, this fragrance is one that when I got it, I was surprised how much I like it because it kind of sounds boring to me. However, the way that it's done is so good, and the kumquat and the lime really add to this fragrance. They make it unique. But again, it's very likable. I don't see how people wouldn't like this unless you don't like vanilla and you don't like florals at all. But I think if you like vanilla and you like florals, you will like this. I'm not the biggest floral fan, so I'm not saying you have to be a floral lover, but if you absolutely hate florals, you won't like it. But if you're okay with florals and you really like vanilla, or you're okay with vanilla and you really like florals, either way, I feel like this is a pretty safe blind buy. And honestly, if you blind purchase this, I guarantee if you didn't like it, you'll be able to find somebody to give it to with the quickness or sell it with the quickness because it is just so good and so likable, mass appealing, but not boring. So again, that is Dama Bianca from Xerjoff. This last one is Xerjoff Lyra. Now, I know some of y'all are probably rolling your eyes saying this is not a safe blind buy, but hear me out. This is a safe blind buy if you like gourmand scents and you can deal with a lemon note. So when I smell this fragrance, I get lemon cookies. Lemon and caramel cookies. There is no lemon in this fragrance, but that's definitely what I smell. And I think that if you are 100% against lemon, you're not gonna like this. But if you like gourmands and you're okay with lemon, I feel like you're gonna love this. It smells so freaking delicious. It's so delicious. I love the way this wears on the skin. I feel like it's airy enough that you can get away with it year round, although it is a sweet fragrance. And I just think it's really well done. I feel like people who are not really even into the House of Xerjoff can find themselves loving this one, y'all. It's good. As long as you are a gourmand lover, I think you would love this one. So again, that is Xerjoff Lyra. So those are the fragrances that I think are safe blind buys from not so safe fragrance houses. If you've tried any of these fragrances, chime in, let us know what you think in the comments down below. Are there any other fragrances from unsafe houses that you would say are a safe blind buy? Let us know that in the comments down below as well. If you enjoyed this this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I have tons of content that you can check out in your free time. Also, if you haven't checked out my website yet, do it now. It's www.simplyaisha.com. Over there, I talk about fragrance and other things that I love. Also, if you want to connect with me more, follow me on Instagram. I'm in my stories almost every day, and I love to chit chat with y'all in my DMs. I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.